Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, and today we are going to be doing another news roundup video. And I tell you what, there is a lot of news to get through today, following on of course from that incredible night last night against Chelsea, progressing in the Champions League. But life goes on, we've got to move on now, keep going and looking at the future, and we are going to be discussing in this video Andres Iniesta. Apparently, could he be leaving the club at the end of the season? We're going to be discussing that in some more detail. Antonio Conte was full of praise for Messi after the final whistle yesterday, and of course looking to the injury situation, a number of our players suffering injuries last night. There are a few concerns. We're going to be looking at those and how serious they are, as well as Lionel Messi, the incredible night that he had, reaching 100 Champions League goals, and there are some interesting statistics on how he reached that milestone, and of course looking ahead to the Champions League draw, which takes place tomorrow, and looking at all the teams left in it. So let's get on with the news roundup. And we will start here with that Iniesta news, and I have to say it was after the game yesterday. It came out sort of just after I'd finished making the two videos that I did yesterday, and I read it on Twitter. Iniesta talking about potentially leaving the club at the end of the season. My first thought was, please, please, please be a fake quote. Unfortunately, it wasn't. After the final whistle yesterday, Andres Iniesta did a few interviews, and he basically said that he had until the 30th of April to decide whether he was going to continue at the club and continue on that rolling contract that he has. If he wants to, he can stay here for life. Or he did say he has to consider whether he's going to leave the club and probably then go and play in China. What Mundo Deportivo coming out this morning and saying is that he has four, I repeat, four enormous offers from Chinese Super League clubs. They all want him. They're all interested in getting a piece of Andres Iniesta. And apparently the offers that are on the table absolutely dwarfs his current salary, which is really saying something, because Iniesta is one of the highest earners at Barcelona, and these Chinese clubs are willing to make that look like absolutely nothing. They're going to pay him mega money to go there, and it's not only the salary, they're also offering him bigger incentives, like after his playing career is over, he can go into certain businesses and different ventures like that. This is a massive package for Iniesta, and Mundo Deportivo actually say that Iniesta is leaning towards leaving the club right now, and it could happen at the end of the season. This could be his last as a Barcelona player, and that hurts me. That really does. When I read that, I was absolutely gutted, because for me, watching Iniesta over the years, he's been by far one of my favourite players of all time. The way that he plays, the personality that he has, the consistency that he's shown right throughout his Barcelona career, he is unmatchable in that position. And it's like Xavi, to be honest. Once he leaves, we're really going to struggle to create that kind of player again. We're going to struggle to see anything like Andres Iniesta. But I do have to say, it's his own decision. I'll back him whatever he does. I think over the time that he's spent here, he's earned the right now to decide what he wants to do. He's got to think about himself, he's got to think about his family, of course. The best decision for him, we will all go with, and we will go behind him. Just like when Xavi left to go to Qatar, there was a lot of different things in that deal that he's now reaping the rewards of. He's gone into management, he's starting to do his coaching badges, everything like that. So we're going to be behind Iniesta. Whatever he chooses to do, we will be 100% with him. But of course, I think we're all hoping he stays at Barcelona. He's an icon here. We still love watching him, and even at 33 years old, he's still a magician. Moving on now to the game yesterday, and after the final whistle, Antonio Conte went straight away to seek out Lionel Messi. He went straight to Messi. Both of them sort of went in a warm embrace. Conte was laughing, he was shaking his head, he was sort of saying, how on earth did you do that? Messi was smiling, he was enjoying speaking with Antonio Conte. And basically after the game then, in his post-match press conference, Conte was asked, what exactly did you say to Lionel Messi? I'm just going to read out here what Conte said, because it was really glowing praise, and to hear a coach say this after Messi had just destroyed his team was absolutely fantastic. Conte said, when you have the opportunity to make a great compliment to Messi, it's only right to recognise a super top player. He's able to score 60 goals a season. I'm very pleased to have had the opportunity tonight to give him my compliment. We are talking here about an extraordinary player, the best in the world. We must have respect for this kind of player. He wants to stay at Barca for the rest of his career, and that's the best move for him. He is writing a great story here in Barcelona along with his teammates, and I thought that was absolutely fantastic for Conte after the game to come out and shower Messi in all of that praise. And I have to say as well, great credit to Antonio Conte himself. Before the game, we thought that he might be a bit defensive, might wait until the 60th minute mark to really come out and try and get their goal. But credit to Chelsea, they did play very well over both legs, to be honest. We took our chances, we were incredibly clinical, but over the two legs, Chelsea gave it a real go. They came out yesterday, they were brave in their performance, even after they went behind so early. So credit to Conte and his team. Whether he's going to remain at Chelsea beyond the end of the season, nobody knows right now. But it was great to see Conte and Messi embracing like that, and pure respect on the pitch between those two. And now we move on to that dark alley that is our injury list. What is going on this season with injuries? Injury after injury after injury. When is it going to end? Even in yesterday's game, we had Iniesta playing, who was hardly fit. You know, he really dragged himself through the pain barrier to play in that game yesterday. Busquets was subbed off with an injury. Jordi Alba suffered a knock later on. Umtiti was struggling as well. We're going to start here with Sergio Busquets. That's the only injury out of these three that is actually being confirmed by the club. And unfortunately, it's not good news. Sergio Busquets will miss 3 weeks of action with a broken toe injury. He was subbed off yesterday. It was a little bit of a collision. He went off. He was clearly in some pain. He underwent an x-ray this morning to determine how serious it was. And the club has officially confirmed that he will miss 3 weeks of action, which means he'll miss the game at the weekend against Athletic, of course. He'll then miss Spain's friendly matches in the next week, because after the game at the weekend, it's then an international break. And then he'll also miss our trip to Sevilla in La Liga. And it will be a battle now to get Sergio Busquets back in the team for that Champions League quarter-final first leg, which takes place in just under 3 weeks' time. So I think the medical staff are going to have to work very hard to make sure Busquets is ready for that first leg. We're going to need him. He is absolutely key to what we do. He's a massive player in our team, and I think just like Iniesta, they did with him, they're going to make sure Busquets is back, because he must be. Another concern, like I mentioned, was Jordi Alba in the sort of 10-15 minutes it was to go. He was sort of limping around the field. He was clutching at his calf. He clearly looked like he was in some sort of pain, but we couldn't sub him because we'd already made our 3 changes. So Jordi Alba had to suffer. He had to play on. You could see him sprinting or trying to sprint, and it was clearly very difficult for him. But after the game, he did allay any fears of that injury. He said, "I'm not injured. It is not a serious injury. It was simply cramp during the game that I struggled to get through in the game. But after the game now, I'm okay. It's nothing to worry about." So that's at least one positive. Jordi Alba, not seriously injured, just a bit of cramp during the game. He is going to be fine. As for Sam Wellington, who of course we've spoken about already, absolutely sensational last night. He was unbelievable in every moment of the game. But during the first half, he could be seen clutching his shoulder quite a few times. He didn't seem to be moving very well in the upper half of his body. And little wonder, to be perfectly honest, because like I say, Umtiti was throwing himself in front of absolutely everything that came his way. Anything that moved, Umtiti was stopping last night. And he did confirm the problem after the game. He said basically that he had a slight shoulder injury. That was his words, a slight shoulder injury. So that's potentially another player who could miss the game at the weekend as a precaution. But knowing Umtiti, just like Piqué has been doing for quite a few weeks now, he might soldier on, he might go through it. Maybe he'd miss the internationals, I don't know. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens with Samuel Umtiti and whether that's going to be serious or not. But it seems okay. It seems like it was just a knock, a little shoulder injury. He is going to be fine. And of course, we all mentioned last night Lionel Messi, absolutely incredible in the way that he scored his 2 goals. But I just want to highlight here his 100 Champions League goals and exactly how quickly he got to that landmark. Because obviously Cristiano Ronaldo reached that landmark first. He's gone beyond that landmark now. But just looking at the stats here, Lionel Messi took 14 fewer games to reach the 100 goal mark than Ronaldo, 1,758 fewer minutes, and also 266 fewer shots to register his 100th Champions League goal. Took Messi 123 games to get there, Ronaldo 137. Obviously, both incredible players. We know all about that. I'm not going to get into those debates right now, but I'm just saying, Messi reaching the 100 goals in incredible fashion. We know that he's younger. We know that time is on his side when it comes to all these records. And once again, incredible from the little man. Absolute genius. And one thing that I do want to discuss, guys, because obviously this happened during all of the Chelsea build-up, so I was so busy doing the preview, the tactical preview, all the things like that, I didn't get a chance to talk about this from Andre Gomes. Now, I want to go back to what he said earlier on in this week, the interview that he did speaking about his time at Barcelona, and this is basically why. You remember I did the video quite a few days ago now, where I spoke about the booing at the Camp Nou, and I said that shouldn't be the case for any player, not just because it's Gomes, but any player at Barcelona. We need to support our players, especially during the game. We need to be behind them. And Andre Sergio Busquets did come out and say basically that he was so down right now about his time at Barcelona. He said he wasn't enjoying his football, he wasn't enjoying his time on the pitch. When he was out on the pitch, he was really struggling for confidence, for form, and it was really getting him down as a person. Off the pitch, away from football, he said he was ashamed to go out on the street in Barcelona because he felt like his time here had been so disappointing. And I would say in his interview, it was really sad to read. Of any player going through that kind of stress, that kind of pressure off the pitch, it's not good to see. And I have to say yesterday, the fans might have booed him a week or so ago against Atletico at the Camp Nou, but when he came on yesterday, the ovation that he got, the praise he got from the fans, all clapping, all standing, getting behind him, that was a fantastic moment. And that's what I mean. That's what Barcelona is all about. Més que un club, more than a club. That's what we do. Get behind our players, support our players, help them through troubled times. That is what Barcelona represents, and that's what we all need to do as one. And finally, guys, I do of course want to discuss with you the UEFA Champions League draw. Like I say, that'll be coming tomorrow. I'll have videos on that when it's done. We'll be looking at the draw in a lot more detail, but I just want to run you through, of course, the teams that have progressed to the next round. And I want to know this: who do you want to draw in the next round of the Champions League? The quarterfinals will be between Bayern Munich, Juventus, Roma, Liverpool, Manchester City, Sevilla, and Real Madrid. Who do you want to draw out of those teams in the quarterfinals? Like I said yesterday in my review video, the easiest teams on paper there at least would probably be Roma and Sevilla. The hardest teams, you'd say Man City are in form right now. In terms of the Champions League pedigree, Real Madrid cannot be overlooked. Bayern Munich are very strong. We had problems, of course, last year against Juventus. Liverpool going forward are fantastic. They've got a few gaps at the back though. Looking at that, in terms of the easiest draw, I of course would go with Roma or Sevilla. But in terms of the draw that I truly want right now, I would genuinely go with Real Madrid. I really would love to play Real Madrid in a two-legged Champions League tie, because you know what we say, Real Madrid this season have been so poor in La Liga, but in the Champions League, you saw it in the last round against PSG, they find a way of getting through. Teams just can't seem to face them, and they can't seem to beat them in this competition. If anybody in this competition is going to knock Real Madrid out, are going to see them off in this competition, it's going to be us. We have to take it upon ourselves to beat Real, to knock them out, and to make sure we're on to the next round. And that is why I would love an El Clasico quarterfinal. Draw us Real Madrid. We can do this. We know we have what it takes, and the two legs for me would be absolutely sensational. But like I said, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Who do you want to draw and why? And of course, let me know all your thoughts as well on everything we discussed in today's video, from Iniesta to the injuries, to Conte's praise about Messi, to the way Messi has reached those 100 goals, and of course, the Andre Gomes situation. Let me know all your thoughts and your comments down below, guys. Thank you, as always, for joining me. And of course, there will be more videos coming up very shortly indeed. I will see you soon, but until then, as always, Vasca! El Barça. Barça, Barça.